Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital 24H News channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Lulu was taken to her mother's apartment by Dante. She was startled to see Lucky standing there when she reluctantly knocked on the door. He smiled and said, "Where've you been, Leslie Lou?" Lucky sat Lulu down on the couch and told her about her exciting night out of Turning Woods. Lulu saw that Dante seemed strange after he left. Lucky assumed that Dante was simply stunned by Lulu's sudden appearance at the Quartermaines. The fact that Lucky was in Port Charles also astounded Lulu. Lucky clarified that after learning she required a liver transplant, he returned home. Lulu questioned why Nicholas was unable to donate his liver, even if she presumed Lucky was her donor. Nicholas' liver was unsuitable for a transplant, but Lucky assured her that he was a match. After hearing that her family had come together to support her in times of need, Lulu offered a startling question: "Does that mean Dad's back in town, too?" Luke passed away 2 years ago, and Lucky had to inform Lulu of this. "That can't be true," Lulu argued. Luke had, after all, previously been assumed dead. All they needed to do, she believed, was let him know she was awake, and he would head back to Port Charles. After considerable effort, Lucky was able to persuade Lulu that Luke was no longer there. After sobbing, Lulu collapsed into Lucky's arms. "Dad's been gone for 3 years, and I didn't even know," she said. Over coffee, Lucky and Lulu talked about her early years. "Making Tracy my stepmother was probably one of the best things Dad ever did for me," stated Lulu. Lucky acknowledged that his inability to cope emotionally prevented him from attending either of Luke's memorial services. And for the liver, Lulu thanked Lucky. He had to inform her that Sam was his donor and not him. Lucky broke the terrible news that Sam had passed away the day after the surgery because Lulu thought it was kind and wanted to thank Sam. "Sam died because of me?" Lulu questioned incredulously. Lucky reassured Lulu that the transplant had nothing to do with Sam's demise. Lulu continued to wonder. "Why would Sam risk her life for me?" Lulu inquired. Lucky clarified that at the time of Sam's passing, he and Dante were engaged. "Sam was Rocco's mother while I was in a coma." With a startling understanding on her face, Lulu remarked, "Dante lost her, and Sam saved my life." At last, Lulu understood why Dante was keeping his distance. The expression on his face. It was sorrow. Despairing for the woman he loved, Lulu remarked. In an attempt to locate Lulu, Laura was back at her workplace, manning the phones. They had failed, Anna informed her as she entered. She did, however, order Dex to bring Cyrus in handcuffs. Laura didn't care that Cyrus denied any involvement in Lulu's disappearance. Laura declared, "I'm having you arrested for stalking my daughter." Cyrus's visit to Lulu without her consent infuriated Laura, who even informed Turning Woods that he could decide on her daughter's medical care. "As a paroled felon, stalking with fraud charges can land you back in Pentonville," Anna clarified. Lulu was not taken from Turning Woods, Cyrus insisted. Because she went out by herself and stunned Cyrus, Laura claimed to have knowledge of that. "Our requests have been granted." "Sister, why are you upset with me when Lulu is awake?" Cyrus inquired. Laura thought that her daughter's decision to flee Turning Woods without telling anybody was caused by Cyrus's visit to Lulu. To find out if anyone at Turning Woods intended to file charges, Anna then asked Dex to drive Cyrus back to the PCPD. Lucky soon called Laura to let her know that he was with Lulu. Laura hurried to meet her kid from her office. James and Maxie sat down, and Maxie asked him whether he was certain the woman in the photo he had shown her was the one who had visited their home. Though he didn't really remember her, James was certain and shocked to discover that it was a photo of his Aunt Lulu. Lulu could never have been in their living room, according to Maxie. Maxie discovered that Lulu was awake when she called Mac to see if he knew anything about her. Maxie was quite excited when Dante came and inquired about Lulu's whereabouts. Maxie pleaded with him to tell her anything he knew. She seems to have not missed a beat. I was terrified that I would never again be able to look into her eyes, but suddenly there she was, talking and smiling like her former self, Dante remarked. Maxie inquired about the well-being of a thoughtful Dante. Maxie understood the truth, but Dante was relieved that Rocco had his mother back. The joy of having Lulu back doesn't outweigh the grief from losing Sam, she stated. Dante said that he had yet to inform Lulu about Sam. Then Maxie offered Dante some guidance. Don't hide your grief from Lulu, she encouraged. Lulu had intended to move on with Dustin before to his passing, Dante noted. Just before she fainted and went into her coma, Maxie recalled telling Lulu to tell Dante that she still loved him. She kept that talk from Dante. Jason was playing about in the Quartermain boathouse when Carly started criticizing him. For the sake of the children, she stressed that Drew and Jason's ceasefire must endure. Carly became even more intrigued when Jason pledged to fulfill his half of the agreement, so she inquired as to the source of this new hostility. Carly rambled on about not forcing the children to choose between their fathers when Jason refused to disclose that Drew and Willow had shared a bed on the playroom floor the night Sam passed away. At that moment, Danny entered. Jason invited Danny to speak with him because he could see right away that something was up. After a moment of hesitation, Danny blurted out, "Rocco got his mom back." Jason looked at Danny incredulously as Carly's mouth fell open. Danny informed them that he had seen a woman in the living room conversing with Dante and Rocco, and he knew who she was from a picture Rocco had in his room. The only thing that could make Rocco that happy was his mom, stated Danny. Danny missed his own mother, but he was glad for Rocco. Even if my mom saved his mom's life, it's so dumb, even though I know it's not his fault. Both of them ought to be present. Why did my mother have to pass away? Danny inquired. Rocco then texted Danny, but he was at a loss for words. Carly assured Danny that it was acceptable to feel joy for Rocco while yet missing his mother. Jason reassured Danny that he would support him. Remember that you are not alone. I am and always will be here, Jason declared. Anna called to inform Danny that they needed to locate Valentine right away after he had left the boathouse to look for Rocco. Molly discovered her 2012 diary entry on the day she first met TJ while going through a box of memories. Rick showed up shortly after, but Molly slammed the door in her father's face since she didn't want to speak to him. Refusing to leave, Rick reaffirmed that he took on Ava's case solely to assist Molly. Molly reopened the door and spoke candidly to her father. At this moment, I don't need your assistance or anyone else's. TJ is staying somewhere else tonight because of your assistance, Molly stated. Once she and TJ were at home, Molly told Rick what had transpired. Although TJ didn't witness anything untoward about that day, Molly claimed to have recognized that Christina's fall was an accident. TJ thinks accepting the verdict is just another way to avoid my grief and pretend like Irene never existed, Molly wept. Rick wanted to discuss Molly's testimony as well. If I thought putting you on the stand was going to harm you in any way, I would have never done it, Rick said. You thought putting me on the stand would be harmless? Asked Molly, in astonishment. You used my morals as a weapon against my sister. As a child, Molly always stood up for her classmates against bullies, Rick remarked. Molly remarked that Rick's treatment of Christina was worse than a schoolyard bully. But since I've spoken the most of it to Christina myself, who am I to judge you? The worst thing was actually that. Molly acknowledged, I realized you were using my own words to torture Christina. After losing TJ and Irene, Molly questioned what she had left. Rick reassured her that she had him. Molly claimed to be aware of it, but she just wanted to be alone herself right now. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.